Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I wish this was the finale to my Indiana Jones series of reviews because I want to only say good things about these movies. But unfortunately, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a movie that does exist, but I forget about it constantly, which is probably good. The other day, I was actually like, we were talking about the fifth one coming out, and she's like, "Oh, should I watch all of them?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're all 10 out of 10." And then I was like, "Oh," so she's like, "I should watch all four of them." Then I realized, "Oh shit, there's a fourth one that I forgot about." So we'll talk about that next week. We're just gonna talk about Last Crusade. I kind of agree with Chris Stuckman's review of this movie that this is a better movie than Raiders just because it gave Indy kind of what he needed. Indiana Jones was kind of this character that is the male role model. The guy's kind of like James Bond. He doesn't really have a character arc or anything to grow, and that doesn't make him a bad character. But this movie gives him some sorely needed depth with his father in the mix, who is excellently played by Sean Connery. This is probably my favorite Sean Connery performance, maybe my second favorite. I'm not really sure. It's really a toss up between this and Hunt for Red October. Sean Connery as James Bond, is what it is. But I really love Hunt for Red October. That's a great movie. I should probably re-review all the Jack Ryan movies because man, my reviews of those movies are dog shit. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. Really love that movie though. But his performance in this movie is awesome. The way him and Indy play off of each other, their relationship, their dynamic. Most of the movies up until this point have really just been female heroines. Sure, like in the second one, we had Short Round and stuff to kind of play off Indy a little bit, but they can't really have adult conversations like Indy and his father do, and all those romance plots are like okay, they're fun, but it's just more depth added to this character that I love is just great. It all makes sense. It all plays in really well. I mean, and this has my favorite opening of all the movies. I think Raiders opening is probably still better, more iconic, but this one still has a great one. This is the one I think about when I think Indiana Jones. It belongs in a museum, kind of thing, and it's just beautiful. All the action scenes are great. Probably some of my favorites of the trilogy. It's just so many great scenes in these movies, just in general. But this one has some of my favorite ones, and I don't know why this one just really speaks to me. I think though you can tell that this movie was a reaction to Temple of Doom, of where he wanted to bring Indy back to his roots, Steven Spielberg, and he didn't really like what the reaction to Temple of Doom, which is fine because this movie does feel more in line with Raiders. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I appreciate the thing is about these movies. I kind of wish that they could kind of continue on the trajectory Temple of Doom had set it on, which is that each movie kind of had a different edge to it or whatever, because they're all kind of based on old serials where you would just jump into random adventures, and that's what Temple of Doom more felt like. This felt more like it was trying to be more a sequel to Raiders than really just its own thing, which is definitely fine, but I don't know how much I would have preferred more of what Temple of Doom had kind of started. This is still a great movie. It's my favorite of the original three, but definitely not my favorite out of the four. Well, no, it's definitely my favorite, quality speaking wise. But I still think Temple Doom might be my favorite now. Honestly, after that rewatch, not really sure. It's really hard to pick one of these three movies which one's my favorite, just because they're all great. This is definitely the one I think the most when I think Indiana Jones. So this is probably my favorite. I don't know. We'll talk about was it Kingdom of the Crystal bullshit? Yeah, that one next week.